It's now 8:27 on the 26th of March, 2026. It is a Thursday night. Um, I'm going to do the NGC, I believe it's 3250 to 3299 series tonight. I have to look at my sheet, but before I get started, I know that these are going to be a relatively small number of galaxies that are in that series. Let me confirm that looking at my sheet. Yep, 3250 to 3299. And there's only 19 galaxies in that series, so we should have some extra time. So I thought what I'd do is pick out a few brighter galaxies. I'm using 10-second exposures to help enhance the experience slightly due to the fact that we have now an 8-day moon overhead. What we're seeing vaguely here is a very large galaxy that was part of the NGC 3100 to 3149 series. It is a galaxy in Hydra, magnitude 9.9, but 19.7 by 3.4 arc minutes. I've compared it to a galaxy that could be seen in the summertime that's also quite large and diaphanous. It's an irregular galaxy, 3.9 million light years distance. Right ascension is 10 hours, 3 minutes, and 5 seconds with a declination of minus 26 degrees, 9 minutes, 27 seconds. The other galaxy I compare it to is Barnard's galaxy, which was discovered with a 6-inch telescope in the 1880s or 90s by E. Barnard at the eyepiece. Probably was looking for a planetary nebula at the time, and he noticed it. Anyway, so we're going to push on and capture a few more before we actually light into the 3250 to 3300, 3299 series. That was NGC 3109 here. Okay, what we're seeing here is another galaxy in the same series. It's NGC 3115. Once again, I'm mentioning this is a 10-second exposure, not a 5, which adds about 0.8 magnitudes to the luminosity of the view. Okay, one thing I forgot to press was noise reduction. We're getting some splotching in the field of view. Let me tell you about NGC 3115, galaxy in sextans. Magnitude 8.9, 7.3 by 3.4 arc minutes. I do believe I set this up. Was that 100? Yeah, that's 150x view. Let's drop it down for something more of a beauty shot. All right, now notice this is about a 20 arc minute by 15 arc minute field, and I'm seeing the galaxy spread from about here to here, so it's quite large. 7.3 by 3.4 arc minutes. It's an elliptical class 6, which doesn't quite compute, except the higher number ellipticals tend to be squatter. 32 million light years distant. And so that tells us it's probably about 70,000 light years in diameter. Let's go on. We've gotten 8 stacks now at 10 seconds. Let's go ahead and look at another preliminary view before we launch into the 3250, 3299 series. Okay, what we have here are 2 galaxies in the field. There's an NGC 3166 and an NGC 3169. Both of these were part of the 3150 to 3199 series. It's a galaxy in sextans, magnitude 10.4. I do believe we're seeing this one here first. This galaxy, I do not believe, is in the NGC catalog, and I'm probably going to have to do a little research to find out what it is, adventuresindeepspace.com. This is a spiral with a bar, lenticular O-class galaxy here, which actually looks a little bit more like that, but we have to assume we're going east to west. I'm west to east in the NGC numbers, and this is west and this is east, north and south. Galaxy in sextans, 4.8 by 1.9 arc minutes. It's a spiral with a bar, lenticular A, 60 million light years distant, maybe 90,000 light years in diameter. RA is 101345 with a declination of plus 3, 25, 30. I'll give you the data on NGC 3169 as well. Okay, NGC 3169 is another galaxy in sextants. Of course, it's slightly fainter, magnitude 10.2, which I think you can make out. A little squatter, 4.2 by 2.9 arc minutes. Spiral with a lowercase a. 56 million light years distant puts it at about 75,000 light years in diameter. I don't recall what the distance was on 3166, but I do believe these are probably paired galaxies. RA is 101414 with a declination of plus 3 degrees, 28 minutes, and 2 seconds. And I am really intrigued by what is probably a 14.5 magnitude galaxy with a very minimal, probably class C core spiral. Well, I was hoping we'd get a really good view of NGC 3242 planetary nebula in Hydra tonight, but we are having to look through a diffraction bar. The galaxy is very bright, magnitude 8.6 and fairly large, 40 by 35 arc seconds. It's got a magnitude 12.3 central star, but the rest of it is so bright that it's obscured. 3,600 light years distant. RA is 102446 with a declination of minus 18 degrees, 38 minutes, 33 seconds. We did not get a view of this in the NGC 32 to 3249 series because it was obscured by clouds. Okay, planetary nebula are very susceptible to bright imagery. Larger scopes tend to make them very brighter, but unfortunately for the ZWO imager, we lose contrast, but at the eyepiece you would typically be able to see more. This is a 0.1 second exposure, roughly a 4-inch scope exposure of that planetary nebula NGC 3242. And we're still not seeing the central star. So I thought we'd give you a little view of that. Let's go to a 5-second exposure before we begin the tour for the evening. And here's our 5-second exposure. It's just about to emerge from the diffraction line of the power line. And there it's still pretty luminous. So this is the view I would have gotten under good conditions the previous night when we did the NGC 3200 to 3249 tour. So let us begin the tour of the evening, which is 3250 to 3299. Okay, when I was heading towards 3250 on the handset, I realized that I wanted to get a view of that galaxy set, which was kind of obscured by clouds the other night. The brighter galaxy is NGC 3245. It's a galaxy in Leo Minor. It's magnitude 10.8, 3.5 by 2.4 arc-minute lenticular spiral, 63 million light years distant. The fainter galaxy off here, now I had assumed it would be 3245A. Now I'm going to look at the right ascension and declination. Okay, so it should be to the north, but what about the right ascension? 102718. So if I go to the next one, it's 102701, which means it is slightly to 18, slightly to the west. So this one actually would have been listed first, but this is NGC 3245A, a galaxy in Leo Minor. This is 3245, I already quoted it. This one is a spiral with a bar in lowercase b, not much of a core, but it does have a bar, 59 million light years distant. It's at 10, as I mentioned, 102701, declination plus 28, 3822. I'm glad we got a view of both of these galaxies. This one is rather difficult to pick out, and its bright neighbor, however, is quite easily viewed. Okay, let us begin the 3250 plus series. Okay, first study in the series is NGC 3251. It's a galaxy in Leo, magnitude 13.3, 2 by 0.4 arc minutes in size, a nice splinter of a galaxy, spiral bar, lowercase c, 232 million light years distant, puts this at about 160,000 light years in diameter. Very similar in ways to Messier 31 in size and in type. Right ascension's 102916, declination plus 260556. There is our 105x view. NGC 3253 is, well, I wonder what that streak is there, is a galaxy in Leo, magnitude 13.6, 1.2 by 1.1 arc minutes in size. It is 434 million light years distant, maybe 165,000 light years in diameter. Right ascension 1028.27 with a declination of plus 1242.13. NGC 3254 is rather brightish, and there's a reason for it. It is magnitude 11.7, 4.8 by 1.5 arc minutes. Spiral with a lowercase bc. Does have a star-like core, however, 67 million light years distant. Puts it at about 95,000 light years in diameter. RA is 1029.19 with a declination of plus 29.29. How about that? Okay, skipped over a lot of deep south and one far north galaxy. We're looking for NGC 3265, galaxy in Leo Minor, magnitude 12.9, 0.9 by 0.7 arc minute sized elliptical, 67 million light years distant. This is probably no more than 25,000 light years in diameter. RA is 1031.06 with a declination of plus 28 degrees, 47 minutes, and 47 seconds. NGC 3270 is a galaxy in Leo, magnitude 13.1, 3.1 by 0.8 arc minutes. I think that one qualifies. It has spiral with a bar, lowercase b, and an annularity. 283 million light years distant. They must have a good image of this one to be able to determine the spiral arms spin all the way around. It's at right ascension 1031.30 with a declination of plus 24.52.08. That 3 arc minutes and largest apparent size times 283 million light years distant means this one's probably somewhere around 300,000 light years in diameter. Whoa. NGC 3274 is vaguely distinguishable on the screen in the usual location down and to the west. Galaxy in Leo, magnitude 12.8, 2 by 1.1 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase cd. Well, it's got more of a core than I would expect from a CD. 21 million light years distant. Whoa, this one's tiny. Maybe 10 or 12,000 light years in diameter. RA is 1032.17 with a declination of plus 27 degrees, 40 minutes, and 7 seconds. NGC 3277 is no doubt this bright and probably an elliptical galaxy in Leo Minor. It is not an elliptical, though. Magnitude 11.7, 2.1 by 1.8 arc minutes, spiral with a lowercase ab. 66 million light years distant, maybe 35,000 light years in diameter. RA is 1032.55, declination plus 28.30.41. NGC 3279 is a galaxy, edge on apparently, in Leo, magnitude 13.4, and yes it is, 2.9 by 0.4 arc minutes. That's about a 5 to 1, 7 to 1 aspect ratio. Wow. Spiral lowercase cd, 66 million light years distant, puts it about 60,000 light years in diameter. RA is 1034.42 with a declination of plus 11 degrees, 11 minutes, and 48 seconds. Very nice splinter galaxy. NGC 3280 is between two diffraction power line bars. Suspect it's this galaxy here, but there are neighbors. And there would be, because NGC 3280A is a galaxy in Hydra. It's also NGC 3295. Very faint, magnitude 16, lenticular spiral, so it's probably visual 15, 0.7 by 0.5 arc minutes. RA is 1032.46 with a declination of minus 12 degrees, 38 minutes, and 5 seconds. There does appear to be a galaxy group there. All pretty much fainties, with this one over here maybe being magnitude 13. We are at minus 12 degrees 30 and change southern declination. Well, 12 stacks in, there's also a B, of course, NGC 3280b, Galaxy and Hydra. It's also NGC 3295. Magnitude 16, smaller than the last one, though. 0.5 by 0.3 arc-minute lenticular spiral, 405 million light-years distant, means it's probably somewhere around 65,000 light-years in diameter. RA is 103244 with a declination of minus 123814. I did not center it up. I'm just allowing stacks to accumulate. Okay, without driving anywhere else, NGC 3280c is a galaxy also in Hydra. It's also known as 3295c. Magnitude 16, 0.4 by 0.4, lenticular, spiral. It should look very similar to the one we've seen before. Maybe these two are paired up as A and C, I believe. Right ascension 103246 with a declination of minus 123814. Maybe there's a D. And no D was forthcoming, although these may have their own standalone NGC designations. NGC 3282 is a galaxy in Hydra, hiding behind a diffraction bar. It's magnitude 13, 1.9 by 0.6 arc minutes. Spiral with a bar of the lenticular class and an annularity. It's going to take some sussing out adventuresindeepspace.com to find the galaxy, although you could also find it if you went to the skylive.com, because they use ordinal directions, which are different than this, but you could convert. This galaxy is 172 million light-years distant, maybe 105,000 light-years in diameter, RA 103222 with a declination of minus 22 degrees, 18 minutes and 6 seconds. I do believe it's that one right there. It's suspiciously galactic, isn't it, with that fuzzy aura around it. NGC 3285. A galaxy, of course, in Hydra, magnitude 12, 2.7 by 1.5 arc minutes. Let's frame up a few of them here, get a sense of the layout. Spiral of the bar, lowercase a, 153 million light-years distant, probably puts it at about 130,000 light-years in diameter, a largish. RA is 103335 with a declination of minus 2716. NGC 3285 had a fainter neighbor, 3285A, galaxy in Hydra. There was a little bit of a jump, so they may not share the same field of view, so I don't know why they got an AB designation, but I believe this is probably RA. Magnitude 13.9, 1.2 by 0.8 arc minutes, 192 million light-years distant, maybe 60,000 light-years in diameter, RA 103248, with a declination of minus 27 degrees, 31 minutes, 21 seconds. Not a bad view for that far deep south. And here's our 105x view of NGC 3285A. There is also a B. Let's see what kind of a skippage we get here if I just leave this active. Okay, I'm going to set that up, and we're going to go to 3285B. There was a bit of a jump. Yes, indeed. So we're probably going to get some lines, and those lines tell us how far we moved quite considerably. You can see it here as well because it's trying to stack. Interesting. Okay, NGC 3285B, which was actually probably 8 to 10 arc minutes further to the east, is a galaxy in Hydra, magnitude 13.1, 1.5 by 1.2 arc minutes, spiral with a bar at a lowercase b. Now, this is going to be a fairly faint galaxy given its minus 27 degrees, 39 minutes, and 12 seconds in declination, which can easily lop off 2 to 3 magnitudes in brightness. And this is the actual visual brightness of 13.1, presumably. Spiral with a bar, lowercase b, 132 million light-years, maybe 60,000 light-years in diameter. RA is 103436, and that declination minus 27, 39, 12. Okay, so we jumped some 50 degrees up into the sky's middle third to see this potentially, this edgy-on galaxy with an indistinct core. Galaxy in Leo, NGC 3287, magnitude 12.3, 2 by zero point 0.9 arc minutes. That conforms. Spiral with a bar, lowercase cd. 62 million light years distant, means it's probably about 35,000 light years in diameter. RA is 1034.47 with a declination of plus 21 degrees, 38 minutes, and 55 seconds. Let's go ahead and push this one up for that 150x view so we can gather a few more photons. NGC 3290 is a galaxy further south in Hydra. Magnitude 14, so it could either be a visual or a photographic magnitude. Doing a little bit of swimming around here to see what we can make out. 1 by 0.5 arc minutes. Something vague down here, but I don't know that that'll be it, because it should be shifted more towards my experience has been more towards the top of the screen or to the east when we go further south. Obviously, there's some mechanical issues that I have yet to resolve, even though I've had this mount for several years now. Okay, it's got a spiral with a bar and lowercase b, c with peculiarities, 472 million light years distant, slightly larger than Messier 31. There's a galaxy there. Although I suspect, as I said, let's back it out a little bit just to get squared up again. All right. Once again, centering up. Could be that one. Right ascension 1035.17 with a declination of minus 1716.35. NGC 3290. Larger than Messier 31. It may be 160,000 light years in diameter. NGC 3292, it's very intriguing. Look at this. We have a couple of slow walkers that have split into two. One has split into two. That is very peculiar, that you would have a single one then being joined by another one. I can't really suspect that that's a satellite, so we may have come across something quite anomalous. NGC 3292, however, is the study of our evening, is a galaxy in sextants. Yeah, this is slightly lower. And it's at minus 6 degrees, so perhaps that last galaxy was our study. Magnitude 14.5, 1.1 by 0.9 arc minutes, spiral of the lenticular class, 100 million light years distant, maybe 35,000, 40,000 light years in diameter. We're at right ascension 1035.34 with a declination of minus 6 degrees, 10 minutes and 44 seconds. Let's make sure that's our 105x view, and it was. All right, hey, this is a beauty. This is NGC 3294. You know, I may synchronize up to it a bit after we're done here. Galaxy in Leo Minor, magnitude 11.8, 3.4 by 1.8 arc minutes. Looking at it, you would probably say it's not got that much of a core, which would probably put it in the BC or C class. Let's look at it. It's a spiral C. Lowercase c, 70 million light years distant, puts it at about 80,000 light years in diameter. RA is 1036.16 with a declination of plus 37 degrees, 19 minutes, 28 seconds. We're seeing some texture in this galaxy and spiralicity. That is quite a good view. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it off auto mode and play just a little bit to improve the aesthetics by using my classic technique of sliding the slider bar so it incorporates the blank region at the base of the peak of the histogram. Very nice. NGC 3294, Galaxy Leo Minor, magnitude 11.8, 3.4 by 1.8 arc minute, spiral with C class, and there is some very nice features in NGC 3294. All right, you know what that bar is. Anyway, NGC 3296 is a galaxy embroiled in it to some degree. I did not resynchronize the scope. This is working fine for the time being. 3296 is a magnitude 14.3, 0.7 by 0.7 arc-minute elliptical, 404 million light years distant, maybe 110,000 light years in diameter. Suspect it's this galaxy right here, although it looks not particularly round. Right ascension is 10 hours 32 minutes 45 seconds with a declination of minus 12 degrees 43 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, NGC 3297 was a neighbor of 3296. That group of galaxies was off towards the bottom part of the screen. It's a magnitude 15.1, 0.8 by 0.5 arc-minute lenticular spiral, so probably magnitude 14.1. 417 million light years distant puts it about 70,000 light years in diameter. RA is 103311 with a declination of minus 124019. Let's make sure we've run up the magnification. And perhaps since this is a group of galaxies, go ahead and push it up to 150x, 100% e-zoom. Lots of galaxies there to be mapped out. Some may not be NGCs, however. Our last study in the NGC 3250 to 3299 series is quite vaguely visible in the middle of the 30x screen. It is, there's a nice edge on there too, but I do believe this is our study. Magnitude 12.8, 1.9 by 1.6 arc-minute galaxy, 3299 Leo, spiral with a bar and lowercase d. Well, that says it all, babe, because it doesn't have any kind of real core presence. 26 million light years distant also says this is a youngie, probably and it's very small, no bigger than 15 to 20,000 light years in diameter. Right ascension is 103623, declination plus 12 degrees 42 minutes and 24 seconds. Let me give it a few more stacks as I search out what I would like to go through as our exit view. We're now 27.5 minutes into the NGC 3250 to 3299 series. Okay, here we go with 150x view of our NGC 3299. I'm going to play a little bit with the histogram and we'll see what that looks like. It can sometimes bring out some nice texture in a galaxy. Okay, moving away from the moon into the lion's tail, we now have a view of 3 galaxies, centering them up. We got 65, 66, and something 3596 or something series. This is a 5-second exposure. We're getting lots of detail. I left it on my previous histogram setting, so it looks quite nice. We can also try it in auto. And yes, that brightens things up, brings out a little bit more detail, but the aesthetic isn't quite as nice. So with that view, NGC Messier 6566 and the third member of the Leo trio, edge on NGC Galaxy, I am going to say Carpe Noctem.